So it's actually great. The court basically said the department and the guardian ad litem for the child can work together to try to work out and make sure that the child has it. She definitely felt that it was important that the parents are involved with the treatment and what's going on in there for the child. She definitely recognized the importance of that.
Taylor, what are your emotions like right now?
Just mostly disappointed. That's about it.
How do you believe other parents who are considering the same sorts of treatments that you are and view the medical system in the same way, how should they, or in a similar way, how should they view the decision today and the fight that you've been through?
We would recommend that you still stand up for your voice and stand up for your child and just equip yourself with the best attorney possible beforehand, because clearly they're not okay with you seeking a second opinion, so get an attorney beforehand and be a step ahead of them.
And when do we find out about phase 2 and 3 of the chemo?
Well, that's after. We don't have another hearing until June 4th. We have a mediation with the department, and the doctors and the people are going to talk about alternatives. But I think that probably will, number one, depend on the results and how the chemotherapy does for phase 1, potentially with side effects. But it sounds like we'll probably end up having another hearing on this type of issue.
And then you said that's June 4th?
June 4th is the mediation, and June 5th is the next court date.
I just want to be clear, though. Do you regret anything about, you said staying a step ahead, do you regret anything about turning this into a high-profile public incident?
No, not at all. I think it's really important that people know that there are other options other than chemotherapy. And I think this really opened up a good discussion on parental rights, about patient rights, and about how Johns Hopkins reacts to patients in general on second opinions.
And this isn't the only one going on in the state right now. We've gotten a couple calls since this has happened of other parents just dealing with this. I know a doctor that I spoke to has been working with a hospital in Miami, and they were able to keep the kid from doing chemo. At this point, we're going to be bringing her in to testify at any future hearings. You know, we felt very limited as far as the ability to prepare for testimony on this as to how quickly it is. We've spoken to doctors throughout the country that are able to come in and provide different opinions and different testimony to further enlighten the court on, you know, the potential side effects of the chemotherapy and the potential benefits of all these other alternate treatments that they're doing. Especially, you know, in a situation like this, the doctor necessarily couldn't say this is environmental type of cause of cancer. He said it looked like a predisposed genetic type, and he called it an idiopathic source of cancer, which basically is like it's an unknown source. We don't know where the cancer came from. So I think if it's not genetic, it pretty much has to be environmental. But that's only.
Did your doctor ever testify at all today?
We had Dr. King testify, and she talked about the endocannabinoid system and her treatment. And I think that's why the judge at this point was realistically open to these other options, because she realized that these other options can have a dramatic effect on not only his treatment and the palliative care, but potentially treatment in the future.
When are you going to see your son?
We're not sure yet. We're going to be working with the case manager to figure that out.
In 20 days or 28 days is the first phase. What's that like today?
Correct.
Days?
Yes, 28.
And you said it's likely he'll have chemo tomorrow.
We're not sure, but we're going to confirm that.
And will you be there when he gets that chemo?
Yes, we are already granted to be at appointments, so we will definitely be there to support him emotionally as he goes through this.
And as far as custody, again, your visitation, you've been granted.
They're working on unsupervised visitation.
So, yes, and it sort of expanded a little bit. You know, they want a safety plan to worry about that potential issue of them leaving. You know, it's our position forever that these parents never left because they were fleeing what these people were doing. They didn't agree. They were looking for a second opinion. And they will comply with all the court orders in their best interest, or their main concern is the best interest of the child.